A hiking couple vanished for 60 days. No tracks, no screams, nothing. Search teams found only their SUV, eerily untouched in the deepest part of the forest. But when a lone ranger followed a strange vibration to an abandoned cabin, what he saw inside froze him in place. Before we begin today's chilling true crime story, take a moment to like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you're passionate about unraveling real-life mysteries that defy logic. What you're about to hear is a case that stunned an entire Colorado community, shook seasoned investigators, and left park rangers questioning everything they knew about the wilderness they worked in for decades. This isn't just a story about a missing hiking couple. This is a terrifying account of how two experienced outdoor lovers disappeared into a dense forest for 60 days, only to be found alive in a way no one could have predicted. Their disappearance sparked debates, inspired conspiracy theories, and led to one of the most intense forest searches in state history. And when a lone ranger stumbled upon a strangely abandoned jungle-green SUV parked deep in Roosevelt National Forest, the mystery only thickened. For 2 months, the forest remained eerily silent. No footprints, no signs of struggle, no clues. Until one scorching afternoon, the ranger noticed something unusual. A faint vibration coming from a small wooden cabin. This story will keep you on the edge of your seat from start to finish. Now let's dive in. Emily and Carter Donovan had been hiking together long before they became husband and wife. Their love story practically bloomed on a mountain trail. They met during a college hiking trip in 2012, bonded over trail snacks and campfire stories, and had spent the next decade exploring every major national forest west of the Mississippi. Friends often joked that the Donovans were half human, half wilderness. They navigated rugged terrains with ease, read map coordinates from memory, and could spend weeks living off what they packed in their weather-worn backpacks. So when they planned a 3-day hiking trip in the most remote stretch of Roosevelt National Forest in Colorado, no one thought twice. Emily posted a quick photo of their smiling faces next to their forest green SUV before they disappeared into the pines. The caption read, "Another adventure with my forever hiking partner. Wish us luck." It should have been a routine trip. But when Monday came and no one heard from them, concern slowly turned into panic. By Wednesday, the Donovans were officially reported missing. And by the end of the first week, the story had already become national news. Yet, nothing, no gear, no tracks, not even a broken twig, turned up. It was as if the couple had vanished into thin air. 60 days passed with no progress. Search efforts dwindled. Volunteers returned home. The media switched to newer stories. But one man didn't stop worrying: Ranger Thomas Hale. Hale had patrolled the forest for nearly 18 years and knew every turn, slope, and ridge. Something about the Donovans' disappearance nagged at him. On a quiet morning in August, he decided to push deeper into a region of the forest rarely explored by the public. That's when he saw it. A jungle-green SUV, partially concealed behind thick brush as if someone had attempted to hide it. It had mud on the tires, pine needles stuck to the windshield, and the faint smell of old campfire lingering around it. But inside, nothing. No blood, no broken glass, no equipment, no bags. Just silence. The forest felt wrong. Too still. Too watchful. Hale radioed the ranger station, reporting the unusual find. But with no immediate signs of danger or bodies, they simply logged the discovery and advised him to inspect the surrounding area. He did. 4 weeks. And every day, the forest seemed to swallow his footsteps, giving him no answers. Little did he know, the Donovans were suffering just half a mile away, waiting for a miracle. The strange stillness of the woods became more unnerving by the day. Birds that usually chirped through the canopy were missing. Small animals rarely darted across the ranger's path. Even the wind seemed to avoid this part of the forest. Hale returned to the SUV repeatedly, hoping something new would appear: a footprint, a scrap of fabric, a forgotten map. But the scene stayed frozen in time. The couple's car was untouched, almost too perfect. Investigators later speculated that the SUV had been parked there deliberately. Whether by the couple or by someone else, no one could determine. Ranger Hale's instincts nagged at him harder. He expanded his search radius. Day after day he trekked deeper, wearing down boots and patience. 1 week into his private investigation, he found a broken branch high on a tree, too high to be snapped naturally. The next day, he found footprints, but they were too old to analyze. Another day, he found a trail of disturbed soil, as if something heavy had been dragged across it months earlier. Something was off. He was close to something. He could feel it. But nothing prepared him for what he was about to hear. A faint vibration carried through the ground itself. On a blistering hot afternoon, Hale paused near a thicket of old oak trees. The ground beneath his boots trembled slightly, not like an earthquake, but like a rhythmic vibration. Soft, repetitive, almost like muffled thuds. He followed the sensation across uneven terrain until he spotted it. A small wooden cabin, barely visible under layers of vines and rotting branches. The cabin looked abandoned, no smoke, no footprints, no sound. Except, the vibration was stronger here. Hale pressed his ear to the wall. No voices. No movement. Just faint tremors, as if something, or someone, was inside, too weak to call out. He circled the structure and found a small rusted padlock securing the door. He hesitated. Breaking into unknown property was risky, but something about the sound felt urgent. With one deep breath, he rammed his boot against the handle. The wood cracked. Another kick. The door splintered open. The stench hit him instantly, sweat, dehydration, and stale air. And in the dimness of the cabin, his eyes widened. 2 people sat tied to separate wooden chairs, heads slumped forward, skin pale and ghostly. It was Emily and Carter Donovan. Their mouths were sealed with duct tape. Their wrists and ankles were bound behind the chairs. They trembled weakly, unable to speak. Alive, but barely. Hale staggered backward in shock. The Missinghikers had been here the whole time. When paramedics arrived hours later, Emily and Carter were immediately transported to the hospital. Their conditions were severe: extreme dehydration, malnutrition, bruised wrists, rope burns, and internal weakness. But the biggest mystery wasn't how they survived, it was who put them there. Once stable enough to speak, Emily recounted what happened. On the second day of their hiking trip, they encountered a man wandering the trail. He seemed friendly, asking about their route, gear, and how long they planned to stay. Something felt off, but they tried to remain polite. That night, while they slept, they heard footsteps outside their tent. Before they could react, someone slammed into the tent wall. A struggle followed, shouts, fists, and blinding flashlight beams. They were overpowered, tied, blindfolded, and forced into what felt like a long walk. When the blindfolds were removed, they found themselves in a cabin they didn't recognize. Their captor never spoke a word. He fed them sporadically, sometimes leaving them without food for days. They heard him walk around outside occasionally, humming or dragging objects, but they never saw his face again after the first night. Then one day, he never returned. They waited, and waited. 60 days passed, until Ranger Hale kicked down the door. The discovery launched one of the most complex investigations Colorado had seen in years. Dozens of officers combed through the forest, searching for the couple's mysterious abductor. But no footprints were recent, no fingerprints were found in the cabin, no DNA, no personal items, nothing. Whoever kept the Donovans tied up had vanished without leaving a single trace behind. Investigators noticed something disturbing about the cabin. It was old, very old, likely built decades earlier. But the ropes, tape, and makeshift restraints were new. Someone had recently revived the place for the purpose of kidnapping. For weeks, Detectives analyzed the SUV, theorizing why it was parked where it was. Some believed the couple was forcibly brought back to their own vehicle and driven deeper into the woods. Others thought the abductor intentionally planted it there to throw officials off. But without concrete evidence, there were only theories. The cabin became a crime scene, sealed off by law enforcement and later dismantled due to the psychological trauma it caused locals and hikers. Despite relentless efforts, the kidnapper was never found. Yet Emily and Carter's survival stands as a testament to hope, endurance, and the sheer will to live. The forest kept its secrets. 3 months after their rescue, Emily and Carter finally returned to their hometown of Fort Collins, Colorado. Neighbors lined the streets, welcoming them home with signs, flowers, and tears. But the couple didn't feel the same sense of safety they once had. The world seemed colder, quieter, more unpredictable. Counselors recommended therapy to help them overcome the trauma. Emily struggled with nightmares. Carter found himself startled by simple noises. Both developed a fear of enclosed spaces. But they were alive. A miracle, many called it. As their story spread, journalists begged for exclusive interviews. The couple granted only one, urging others never to underestimate the dangers of the wilderness, or the unpredictable nature of the people who lurk within it. They never returned to hiking again. Not because they no longer loved the wilderness, but because they feared the unknown. Years later, the case remains unsolved. The cabin remains a haunting memory. And the kidnapper's identity has become a whispered legend among rangers and locals. Yet Emily and Carter's survival stands as a testament to hope, endurance, and the sheer will to live. Thank you for staying with us through this incredibly chilling and emotional true crime story. The disappearance and miraculous survival of Emily and Carter Donovan remind us of how thin the line can be between adventure and danger, between serenity and unspeakable horror. Their experience in the dense wilderness of Colorado is not only a testament to human resilience but also a sobering reminder of how unpredictable the world can be, even for those who know it best. If you found this story gripping, eye-opening, or thought-provoking, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps us bring more real-life mysteries, unresolved cases, and compelling narratives to you every week. And if this story taught us anything, it's that awareness can save lives. So share it with someone who loves the outdoors. Stay alert. Stay safe. And remember, not every mystery leaves behind clues, but every clue has a story. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next episode.